Welcome, Livia. Tell me about what made you so passionate about championing sustainability and using your voice to raise awareness about the climate crisis.
Thank you, Andrea. It's a complicated question with a very simple answer, which is I went to Bangladesh in 2008 on an Oxfam trip for the Circle NGO. And as I was there on the ground for a project on domestic violence, I got smuggled into a factory that was producing garments for a fast fashion brand. And what I saw took me completely by surprise because, I arrived and I thought, is this a prison? Because there was just one entrance with an armed guard at the door with a big rifle. And then I got inside and there were all these crammed rooms full of women on a production line, like taking their head down and not even being scared to look at me in the eyes. And all the windows had bars. There was no fire exit. And I was like, so confused. And obviously, that was the beginning, was pre-Rana Plaza collapse, pre all we know today about the fact that fast fashion is an industry that is fueled by slave labor. And without the exploitation of majority women, we wouldn't be able to buy clothes that are so cheap. So I think I mix also what I saw with my passion at the time for human rights, with being a feminist and wanted to make sure that there was no exploitation of other women in what I was wearing and what I was seeing. So that's how it started, and then and from there, it's been a journey of learning and discovery. But sadly, nothing has changed from that day, if not gone even worse today with ultra fast fashion like Shein, for example.
And there's no doubt that the fashion industry has a huge environmental impact as well, doesn't it? Because of its dependency on oil and gas. And in fact, 60% of what's in the average wardrobe is, made from man-made fibers. So how do you feel we can shift that consumer behavior towards shopping more responsibly? And what can companies do in terms of their responsibility as big brands and suppliers?
One would think that, as I said before, being women are the majority of people, like demographic that buys fast fashion, and we are under a constant pressure to be seen wearing different things all the time. So there is that well-being issue, and that how do we as women reclaim our self without feeling the need of being loved just because we are wearing something new. But also, as women, I would hope that we do not want to exploit other women or be responsible for the exploitation of other women. The problem today, which is a huge problem that unfortunately I don't have an answer, is that the battle is against technology. Because social media is algorithm, and you have brands like Shein, which are more of a technology company rather than a fashion company. So we are constantly lured into this world of consumerism and buying. And it's very difficult to extrapolate yourself if at the same time you are a young person who lives on social media, works on social media. So it's way more complex as an issue, consumerism, than it used to be. So I think what we need to do today is, first of all, talk about it as much as possible to make sure that people, and particularly young people and the younger generation, are aware of the fact that, as you said, you are wearing oil and you are wearing exploitation. So once you start to learn that, how do you then, change your behavior? But also we need more and more influencers to start understanding this issue, because the other problem we have today is that a lot of powerful people on social media who have a lot of followers are also the first ones who accept partnership with fast fashion brands and keep promoting and fueling this circle, which is very disturbing.
Absolutely. So COP28 is just around the corner. What are the key issues you feel should be on the agenda? And how can we make sure that young people are given a platform?
I think the most pressing issues today in fashion are two. One is the oil dependency, and that you quoted too, Andrea. The fact that we are basically wearing oil and that cheap synthetic fibers are what fuel the fashion industry. So there couldn't be talks and discussions and actually moving towards a just phase out and transition from fossil fuel if the fashion industry doesn't align itself with that goal, because they are using oil. But secondly, also, we need to make sure that the global south is very much present, and that we all understand that this is an industry that relies on the global south producing, and then sends after it gets consumed in the global north, sends all the waste back to the global south. So we need participants from the global south also to start talking about it. We need the global north to work in partnership with countries that are production countries to make sure that things happen and supply chain are regulated in a different way. And legislators look at the supply chain in its entirety as a cosmos that needs to be regulated urgently.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Livia, for your time. And now it's just left for me to introduce the Marie Claire Sustainability Awards 2023. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you, Livia.
Thank you, Andrea, and thank you, Marie Claire, and may the best win.